All right, so uh, we've been getting a lot of questions about this RoleCatcher thing lately. People want to know, is it the real deal? Is it like the ultimate career helper?
Yeah, it's definitely got everyone talking, that's for sure.
So we decided to take a deep dive, figure out what all the hype is about, right?
hmm And I think it speaks to a larger trend, honestly. People are tired of just job boards, They're looking for something more.
Totally. They want guidance, they want support. Like this whole AI resume thing RoleCatcher's cushing. What is that, like some kind of super spell check?
Ha! I wish it were that simple. No, it's way more advanced than that. Think of it, it's less about catching typos and more about, like, understanding what employers actually want to see.
Oh, so it's like deciphering the secret code of resumes.
Exactly. Like, it analyzes what employers in your field are looking for and then helps you tailor your resume to match.
Wow, so it's like giving you a leg up before you even apply.
Exactly. And that's huge because those automated systems, they can be brutal.
Oh, tell me about it. It's
Yeah.
like you're up against a robot gatekeeper sometimes.
Right. And that's another thing RoleCatcher says it can help with. They've got that whole interview practice feature.
Oh, yeah, with the AI feedback. Honestly, that's the part that scares me the most. Interviews.
Same. Who even enjoys those? But their system, it like analyzes your pacing, your word choice, even your tone, and gives you personalized feedback.
Whoa, so it's like having a digital interview coach in your pocket.
Basically. Plus, they have this massive database of potential interview questions so you can practice for whatever they throw at you.
That is pretty cool. Okay, so they've got the resume down, they're helping with interviews,
Yeah.
but there's a whole lot more to navigating a career than just that, right?
Right, and that's where their career guides come in. They claim to have over 3,000 of them.
3,000. Seriously, there are that many jobs out there I've never even heard of.
Right. More than 3,000 career guides, thousands of practice interview questions, even a global employer database they say is in the millions.
Okay, no, that's a lot to process.
It is. But one of the more interesting things they're doing is this whole get discovered idea. Like, instead of you chasing jobs, employers find you.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
Oh.
Let the opportunities come to me, right? But still, even with all the resources in the world, sometimes you don't even know where to start. Like, they highlight this role, a chipper operator.
Hmm.
And I got to be honest, I had no idea what that even was at first.
Haha, yeah, it's not exactly the most common job title. Turns out they work with these machines that turn wood into chips.
Not exactly glamorous,
Yeah.
but hey, someone's got to do it, right?
Exactly.
But what I find fascinating is that RoleCatcher uses this seemingly niche job to actually illustrate some really important points about the job market today.
100%. It's a great example of how looking at something unexpected can reveal some broader trends.
So let's dive into that. What does being a chipper operator actually tell us about the way the world of work is changing?
Well, for starters.
So RoleCatcher gave this whole breakdown of like the pros and cons of being a chipper operator. And some of it was, I guess, what you'd expect. Like the pay is good, which makes sense,
Yeah.
right? Skilled trades and all that.
Right.
But then there's the whole like physically demanding, potentially dangerous. I mean, I knew they worked with heavy machinery, but I didn't realize it was like risky business.
Yeah, well, those machines are serious business.
Right.
And it makes sense, right? You're dealing with like huge logs, sharp blades. It's not just pushing buttons. You got to know what you're doing.
Which I guess is another thing RoleCatcher was getting at with this whole example. It's like,
Yeah.
sure, automation is changing a lot of jobs, but it's not like robots are taking over everything.
Exactly. In fact, in a lot of ways, it's making those skilled trades even more important.
How so?
Well, think about it. Someone needs to build those machines, right? Maintain them, fix them when they break down, and then you've got the whole safety aspect. Just because a robot can do something doesn't mean it can do it safely without a human keeping an eye on things.
So it's like, yeah, some jobs might go away, but others are becoming even more in demand because of automation.
Exactly. It's not just about, like, coding or whatever. Knowing how to work with your hands, solve problems on the fly, those skills are super valuable.
So learning to operate a chipper operator machine, that's like a future-proof career move.
Well, I'm not saying everyone needs to go out and get a job at a lumber mill, haha, but it does highlight how important it is to have specialized skills, especially in fields that involve, like, technology and hands-on work.
Okay, that makes sense. But I gotta say, I'm still kind of stuck on this whole chipper operator thing. Like, what does a career path even look like in that world? Do you just, like, get promoted to a bigger chipper?
Aha! I love that image. But it's actually a good question, and RoleCatcher kind of digs into that. They've got these examples of, like, here's an entry-level chipper operator, here's someone more mid-level, here's a senior-level person.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing those profiles. And it's not just about, like, how many wood chips you can crank out per hour.
No! And that's what's so interesting. They highlight how the role actually changes as you gain more experience. Like, entry level is all about mastering those technical skills, right? Knowing the ins and outs of the machinery.
Makes sense.
But as you move up, you start taking on more responsibility, training new hires, identifying areas where they can improve the process, even managing a team of operators.
So there's like that classic career progression, but with, added wood chips. You start as an individual contributor, you prove yourself, you take on more responsibility. Eventually, you're like leading the pack.
Precisely. And it's those soft skills they emphasize: leadership, communication, problem solving. Those are valuable no matter what field you're in. It just so happens that RoleCatcher is using the chipper operator example to illustrate that point.
It's like they're saying, look, even if you don't end up in a wood chip factory, this is how you build a successful career. Learn the ropes, step up, lead the way. Simple as that.
Exactly. And that's where I think the whole continuous learning thing comes into play.
Oh, right. Because they talk about that a lot on RoleCatcher, right?
All the time. And it makes sense, right? Like, they want you to use their platform not just to get a job, but to keep growing throughout your entire career.
Which honestly can feel kind of daunting sometimes. Like, I just figured out how to use this one software, and now there's a new one, and everyone expects me to be an expert, like, tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I feel that. It's like the job market is this constantly moving target, and it can be really overwhelming to keep up.
Right, and that's actually what's so great about having these kinds of resources. It's like RoleCatcher isn't just saying, here's a job, good luck. They're giving you the tools to navigate all those changes and stay ahead of the curve.
100%. They're empowering you to take control of your own career journey.
Okay, so we've talked about the schools, the career path. But let's be real, there's one big old elephant in the room when it comes to job hunting these days.
Yeah, what's that?
Those robots.
The robots.
Well, not robots literally, but like, those automated systems that feel impossible to beat. That's where RoleCatcher really makes some bold claims, right? About helping you beat the bots.
Right. They do talk a big game.
So, like, what's the secret? Do they have a back door into all these systems or something?
If only. No, it's more about, like, using AI strategically. Remember that whole resume analysis tool we talked about?
Yeah.
It's not just looking for keywords. It's actually trying to understand the context of those words to see if you're the real deal or just someone who's good at using industry jargon.
Okay, so it can tell the difference between someone who actually knows their stuff and someone who's just, like, throwing buzzwords around.
Exactly.
So we've covered a lot of ground here with RoleCatcher.
We have. It's a dense one.
It is. I mean, we talked about the AI for resumes, the interview practice, all those career guides they've got.
And of course, we did it all through the lens of, well, wood chips.
Who knew chipper operators can be so illuminating? But that's kind of what I love about these deep dives. You start with something specific, and it ends up revealing all these bigger truths about, like, the whole job market.
100%. Like, at first glance, you might think, what does this have to do with me? But the more we dug into it, the more those connections became clear, right?
Yeah. It's not just about learning how to, like, operate a specific machine. It's about those underlying skills, the problem solving, the communication, being able to adapt to new situations. That stuff's important no matter what you do.
Exactly. And that's what I think is so smart about RoleCatcher's approach. They're not just trying to shoehorn you into some predefined box. They're giving you the tools to build your own box, so to speak.
To build your own career, your own path. Yeah.
Yes. And I think that's where the continuous learning aspect comes in. It's almost like the most valuable skill these days is the ability to learn, to pick up new tools, new technologies, constantly be adapting.
It's like the only constant is change these days, especially in the job market.
So true.
Which can feel scary, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's easy to get overwhelmed.
Like, you finally master one thing, and then bam, there's a new software, a new system, and everyone expects you to be an expert overnight.
Yeah, the pressure is real.
But I think that's also where a platform like RoleCatcher can be so helpful. It's like they're saying, hey, we get it. The world is crazy. The job market is changing faster than ever. But you're not alone. We've got your back.
It's like having a partner in all of it.
Totally. And who knows, maybe that next big career shift, it won't even be something we can predict right now. Like maybe in 5 years, everyone's going to be trying to become, I don't know, professional underwater basket weavers or something.
You laugh, but you never know.
Right. That's the thing.
That's the exciting part.
It is. The future is this big, wide open space of possibilities.
And a little scary, let's be honest.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But that's why, like, having the right resources, the right tools, the right mindset, that's what makes all the difference.
Couldn't agree more.
So to everyone listening, whether you're just starting out in your career or you're thinking about making a change, or even if you're just, like, curious about what's out there, don't be afraid to get out there and explore.
Explore.
Do your research, ask questions, and hey, maybe even take a deep dive into the world of something unexpected, like, oh, I don't know, chipper operation. You never know what you might discover about yourself and the amazing opportunities that are out there waiting for you.
Well said.
And on that note, this has been another deep dive, folks. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.